First, the bad three teams of the week. Number three, the New York Jets. The Jets went across the country and basically played in the first half like they had a reason to play. But then in the second half, for some reason, they just couldn't get off the field. I mean, they made Darren McFadden and the Raiders look like Eric Dickerson. I've never seen a Rex Ryan team get pushed around like that, ever. Usually when Rex Ryan teams get beat, it's usually because of the pass, not because of the run. And it's a shame to see, the Jets get pushed around by the running game. The Jets play Baltimore this weekend. You're going to see a lot of running in that game. Minnesota is on this list again, and then the reason why Minnesota is not in the ugly category is simply because Minnesota has dominated the first half of a game. And if Minnesota could just learn how to play two halves of football, then maybe Minnesota would be 3-0. They had the Chargers beaten, they had Tampa Bay beaten, and last week they were up against the Lions. And they did everything they're supposed to do. Peterson had over 100 yards rushing. Jared Allen had sacks. I mean, they just, for some crazy reason, only handed the ball to Peterson 5 times in the second half, and they deserve to lose. If the guy is your bell cow, give him the ball. I don't understand why you haven't given him the ball in the second half. Only 22 carries for 66 yards in all 3 second halves combined. That's not good enough. Especially in that division, got to keep those high-powered offenses off the field. Can't have Green Bay back on the field. Can't let the Lions back on the field. Can't let the Bears back on the field. Got to be able to run the football to win. And of course, my number one bad team last week has to be the Atlanta Falcons. If Michael Vick didn't get hurt in the second half of that game, the Falcons could easily be 0-3. Tampa Bay last week just beat them up, just like the other two teams did prior. I don't understand what's going on with Atlanta. Maybe, mortgaging your team to get Julio Jones was not the right decision because your defense can't get off the field and your offense looks really, really, really lost. Again, another team that has a running back who does great in the first half and they don't give him the ball in the second half. It doesn't make any sense. We understand Matt Ryan is a good quarterback. We understand that you want to, showcase him to the league and showcase him whatever, which is the dumbest thing I've ever said. But I just don't understand what it is that you're trying to do in Atlanta. You have all this talent on offense. Spread the ball around, run the football. The reason why you won is because Michael Turner last year was running the football well, not because Matt Ryan was throwing it well. You should have shored up your defense because your linebackers couldn't cover anybody, and your defensive line is just getting pushed around all over the field. Time to step up, Atlanta. Last year was last year. 14-2 is a great record. We're in a new year now. It's time to wake up. Start playing like you played last season. Some more bad. I hate to do this to you, my friend, but I got to do it to you. Adam Dunn, I'm sorry, but I gotta get all over you. He signed a huge contract in the offseason. Double-digit $1 million contract for 4 years. And he hit 159, folks. 159. He had 177 strikeouts. And he didn't play every game. How in the world do you get paid $15 million, $12 million a season to hit 159? Miracle, I know there's no women in professional baseball right now, but I'm going to teach you how to hit, even though I wasn't that good a hitter. If you can hit 159 and still get paid $15 million a season, you're my hero. But are you kidding me? I mean, it would be one thing if he was like a minor league guy coming up and, was just learning how to play the game and this, that, and the other thing. We're talking about a guy who's been around for almost 10 years or more. I'm just completely speechless at a guy hitting 159. Some more bad. How about the Colts now? They're saying that Peyton Manning might be done for the season, or they're going to bring him back in December. Why in God's name would you bring him back in December? If the season is lost, just let him lose the season. Yes, we know you just paid him a $100 million contract and you want to get some money from that. But Peyton Manning's been one of the few superstars in football who's always always restructured his contract just so other people can stay. So I don't get it. You should keep the news to yourself anyway, because obviously he's not going to be playing because he's on, he's not on injured reserve. But yes, you got to put it in your injury report that he's not in the lineup. But making announcements like that to me just doesn't make any sense. And like I said earlier in the show, it's just been quite a time period in all sports. Now these next three bads are things that really are under my skin. The first bad. I ask myself a lot of questions when I talk about sports when I'm trying to prepare this show. And I remember about 12 years ago, I was listening to the Dan Patrick show. And Dan Patrick was talking about a bunch of stuff. It might have been 12 years ago. It might have been like 9 years ago. He was talking about Mike Tyson. And it was right around the time when Mike Tyson had just bitten Holyfield's ear. And, Tyson was sort of falling apart. And everyone kept saying that Mike Tyson was a coward. He was a coward. He was a coward. He was a coward. And I kept saying to myself, man, I wonder what they would do if Mike Tyson was sitting in the bar with them after he had heard them calling him a coward. I wonder what they would do if they saw Mike Tyson at a, charity event, at an event or somewhere. Like, would they cross the street? Would they, take the next elevator? Or would they, stand, strong and say, yeah, I called you a coward, what you gonna do about it? Now, the reason why I bring that up, there's a story coming out of Chicago about this new book about Walter Payton. And I'm absolutely just flabbergasted that someone would put a book out 11 years after this man's death talking about how he was always having suicidal thoughts, talking about how he cheated on his wife, he had a mistress, how just all this other negative stuff about maybe the only, there's two Chicago legends that everyone talk about. There's three actually. Talk about Gale Sayers, talk about Walter Payton, and they talk about Michael Jordan, of course. But for someone to put out a book to taint somebody's image after the person has died, and as tragically as he died, it just disturbs me. And yes, I hear he's saying that he interviewed over 678 people, and some of those people were family, his agent, teammates, and people who were like supposedly in Walter Payton's inner circle. But are you kidding me? What's the point? If the point is to make money, which he said, his point is to make some money. Okay. But to taint this guy, it's just ridiculous. Nobody's safe, folks. Not a single person is safe. Obviously, in that conversation, I was thinking about the Dan Patrick thing. I was thinking about Tiger Woods, and I was thinking about, boy, I hope Tiger just goes to his whole career without having any blemishes. And, of course, we know what happened 2 years ago. I'm sure there's going to be a book about Joe Montana. I'm sure there's going to be a book about Bill Belichick or Peyton Manning. It's just our culture as sports personalities, that's what we do. We don't know how to talk about anything else other than just bad stuff about people. I just did it a minute ago. Adam Dunn hitting 159. We don't know what was wrong with Adam Dunn all season long. Maybe he just, maybe he needed to get his eyes checked. I don't know. But that's the nature of sports broadcasting these days and sports radio, is you cannot talk about just sports. You have to track people down some point during your shows. It's just devastating because Walter Payton is a hero to millions, non-Bear fans and Bear fans. And it's a shame that someone's going to has written a book that's coming out this week that's going to taint him in a lot of people's eyes. Not too thrilled about it, folks. The other bad thing that I want to burn on real quickly, and then we'll take a break and then we'll finish the other segment. There's a hockey player named Wayne Simmons. He plays for the Philadelphia Flyers. Earlier this month, Simmons was playing a hockey game, I believe in Toronto, and a fan threw a banana on the ice, basically calling him an ape, which of course is offensive, racist, ignorant, and foolish. So this fan apparently now, he's been found out who he is. He's been arrested. He's been banned from all sporting events at this arena. He's humiliated by what he's done. And you would think this guy Simmons would just sort of fade off into the night and just, play hockey and, you know, go about his business. But no, Mr. Simmons apparently, I guess last week, early this week, got into an argument on the ice with New York Rangers Sean Avery and started using offensive language that got Kobe Bryant in trouble this year. Kobe Bryant had to pay a $100,000 fine for using these words about a particular person. Actually, was doing it to a referee. And the NHL is investigating. They're trying to say now that they can't really decipher what he said, even though clearly everyone saw and heard what he said. Mr. Simmons, do everyone a favor. Go hide somewhere, please. Why would you put more attention to yourself when the whole world was supporting you, had your back, supporting, felt embarrassed as human beings that someone would put a banana there, calling you an ape, basically, and then you go out and use insensitive language? I don't understand the mentality that we have as men to always try to emasculate other men through words, that don't make sense. I'm stunned that this guy will put himself back out there for the world to criticize on this level. So now the world just sees him as an idiot. Come on, Mr. Simmons, you're better than that. At least I hope you are. And we'll be back on 89.7 KLAS FM. We're going to finish the bad section, and then we're going to do the ugly section.